Hello everyone and welcome to the second to last race, the 7th race of the 7th season of the Grand Prix Classics Championship. And join me today for what will be honestly an incredible step, another page in what has been an incredible championship story, featuring 4 drivers. You see one of them here, Randers, who had the championship lead until the end of the last race. Not for the whole season, but he did have it briefly. And today you can see he's up there again. P5 currently, flanked by Michael and JJ, who are doing quite well in practice. I mean, it's only practice. All these times are completely insignificant and inconsequential. But of course, the new championship leader we're looking at, for the first time in Grand Prix Classics history, Marcus is the championship leader. And with only 2 races to go, that's a very, very good position to be in. But I do want to remind you, those gaps are very small. Before we look at the gaps though, let's look at that calendar. You see here, we're on the second to last race. It was delayed by 1 day because of Easter. Today was a slightly better day for everyone. And yeah, all the main drivers could make it, so here we are, Portuguese Grand Prix, and in 2 weeks we have the finale, and absolutely tune in for that one, because I can guarantee you that there's always a mathematical possibility of the championship being done after the second to last race. That's not happening today. I can guarantee you that. I can absolutely guarantee you that. Why can I guarantee you that? Well, for that we will look at the driver standings and look how close it is at the top. It is just that simple. Look at how close it is. I'm going to expand a little bit for myself so I can read what it says. But 113 points for Marcus, 109 points for Randers, 105 points for Dekra. All of these 3 drivers have every opportunity, every chance to win the championship. Domska also still has a chance to win the championship, but it's a lot harder. He needs a little bit of luck. That luck might come today. We'll get to that. Everything else, I mean, it's still interesting. Geralt and Dustin are fighting a little bit. We'll get to that. Then we have Michael, 39 points. Very good job. Mestos is doing also very well. Michael can keep it clean. I'm sure he can hold on to P7. And that's kind of where he always ends up. So, yeah, nothing changes. But Mestos is catching up, so maybe something's going to happen. Sorrow, unfortunately, his PC died on laptop. I don't know exactly what he tries to drive on, but it died. So he's not joining today, unfortunately. Yeah, of course, devastating, gutting. It's just kind of how it is. Essentially getting the Oscar Piastri treatment of not racing. Silver, doing alright, P17, and then Notabene and Cavalo tied on points. Now, you might have a very strong memory and be like, Cavalo, only 12 points? I remember him having a lot more after last race. There were some things that happened that we didn't quite catch. Let's look at Cavalo first then, and let's get the driver standings out of the way. So we can continue on here. So, Cavalo, last race, we didn't quite catch it. But at the start of the race, Cavalo did a couple of naughty things. He took out, I think, 3 drivers. It was found responsible for all of these incidents. As a result, he was straight up disqualified for the last race. And he has a qualifying ban today. Very, very harsh. But I do think it's quite fair if that's the consequences of his actions overall. Yeah, then the punishment needs to be severe. That's how it is. They didn't do more severe. They were thinking about it, but didn't do it because, well, Cavalo's normally a very clean driver. He has definitely profiled himself that way. So, to, I don't know, exclude him from the season because of one really bad race, which happens, that's a little harsh. So, yeah, big punishment. Disqualified for the last race. Will not be able to qualify today. As in, he will start from the back of the grid and move on from that. There's 2 other incidents that were reported. Onufmi, I don't see him here yet. He might come today, but we'll see. Onufmi has been given a qualifying ban as well. Also had an issue at the start of the race in turn 1, crashing someone out. So often if there's not much they can do to punish them for the last race, they will give a qualifying ban for the next race. So always motivated to keep it clean. And then incident 3, the last incident, Jetlin was given 20 seconds, which lost him only 1 position, also because Cavallor was disqualified, otherwise it would have lost 2. So he ended up behind Gomestos, lost a few points, Gomestos gained a few. That's why things are a little different than they were at the end of last race, last week. Okay, all caught up. Sorry for Cavall on the focus for a bit there for something that's a bit negative, but you know, can't always be perfect. Quickly going through the championship top 4, Marcus VR, of course, he is in the lead. The gap is very small. Of course, he only just got out of the... Ooh, and they're practicing. You see, they are practicing. Trying to overtake some of these corners. And in this track, we'll get to the track. It's not easy to make moves like that. Good time to practice it here. During the race, don't do that. Of course. Absolutely, the small gap. Small gap to who? It is Randus, who I think was the man he just crashed out. So some rivalry brewing there. Randus has been very fast this season. Marcus, I think, has generally been faster. Randus has mostly been consistent, but he has also shown very good speed. So very complete package this season. Last season there was still some doubts, and now he's just very much a topic of conversation when it comes to winning races. Dikra, of course, very strong driver still. Winner last season, of course, competed the season before, and this season it looked to be, after the first 2 races, another runaway season. In fact, almost after the first 3 races, it was very close to being a 3-win start for him. But some misfortune and a missed race, and he is currently in 3rd place. But every opportunity still to win. 2 races to go. Every opportunity to do it. And finally, of course, Domska, as I said, it's got a little bit more to do. Still very possible. And there's 2 reasons why that might actually work out for him. Reason number 1 is these cars have had a little bit of a change. There has been an update in the game. Made these cars a little bit easier to drive, a little bit more controllable. They have, of course, adjusted the setup, and now it's, you know, they push the limit again, as Silver has done here. So any change will switch up how drivers are on the ranking, right? So Marcus may have slowed down a little bit, and Domska may have sped up a little bit. Maybe Domska is now the fastest driver. In that case, he can actually win the championship. This is something to get excited about, but we haven't, of course, driven a race in this configuration yet. Now, the second reason why that might be interesting is because, well, I'm just saying the top 4 might twist their position. All the people that are very, very fast might catch up. We're talking your Geralts. We're talking, in particular, your Dustins. They did a little practice race. Him with Michael and I think it was Marcus. And Dustin said he was very happy about the practice race. Dustin might finally have found his pace after an update. And he has switched away from VR. So 2 changes that hopefully will suit him. The VR was giving him a lot of performance issues. They are now gone. Yeah, hopefully he has a good race. A little bit more pace. And who knows? Maybe he can win a race. That will be the hope. That will be what he is fighting for. But not a given, obviously. Still has to happen. Who else do we have? Oh, we have Michael kind of grabbing the attention here. Currently got the fastest time in practice. Michael doing a very solid job in the championship, of course. 7th place. And a really, I think it was a podium last race. 2 races ago. I do remember a Michael podium this season, which on its own is very, very impressive at how competitive this field is. Yeah, he's been driving the absolute wheels off this car in this season. And he will continue to do so, I'm sure. Oh, well, there he goes into the gravel. That's how it is sometimes when you commentate. You just curse people. JJ also seems to be very fast with the new changes. I think he still drives. Let me quickly check. I think he has switched to wheel now. He used to play on controller. But that very much looks like wheel inputs. I think... Oh, good. I got a mission. We're gonna complete that mission in about 4 minutes. And JJ is in the wall. Okay. Yeah, JJ looks a lot better now. Let's see if he can really put himself into the fight. He hasn't had a great season yet, but yeah, maybe. We'll see. Silver a little bit up and down, not quite with the midfield, but doing a solid job. If we could continue doing that today, plenty of points to get. Maybe he's more in control of this car after the updates. And I do hear that Ditto is having wheel issues. He's driving now, but he's having some wheel issues. Hopefully nothing terminal. Hopefully he's still able to drive. But the fact that he hasn't set a time yet doesn't look good for the wheel issues. That's also why we do practice, just give people time to fix any issues that they might be having. We talked about Dustin, we haven't talked about Nota Bene. Nota Bene this season, I think he's P11. He's on the first little row, 12 points. Nothing to sneeze at. I don't know what his takeaway will be. I don't know what he expects of himself. I think he should actually be happy with the way it's going so far. 2 races to go, of course. Not much time to get more points. But given how competitive this field is, why everybody I look at just goes onto the grass. I don't know what to do with this. Yuppo, very, very quick. Was one of the unfortunate victims last race of Cavallor. But wasn't discouraged, came back, and today he will have another opportunity to prove that he is quick. I think he might be, so let's see. Gerald is here. Very good to have him as well. Teammate of Dustin. Ahead of Dustin currently. Let's see if we can hold on to that. If Dustin really is faster, he might be in trouble. Ultimate Keza is finally back, and hopefully, I don't think... Let me double check. No, I don't think he hasn't scored a point yet. Absolutely possible for Keza to just come in here and score a point. So, let's hope he does that. Would be great. Das 111. Reserve driver driving in the Ligier car today. Yeah, it's got 2 points behind his name. P19 currently. Any points for him will be a really big deal. So let's hope he can get a few. Keep in mind, if you've got 2 points, finishing 11th is already doubling your points. So that will be the aim, I'm sure. But this field is competitive. It's extremely challenging. Apex then. Current state of Apex in the championship. He's got 3 points behind his name. Kind of same story as Das. Hasn't showed up too much. Yeah, let's hope. Well, I can hope everybody to get points. But we only have 12 spots that give points. If I had to sacrifice, what, 6 people? Apex would not be among it. I think he deserves it. Ride or die. P17 with the time currently. Championship he's P18. 3 points again. Honestly, same story. And then Ditto is driving. Let's have a look at that wheel. I think it's okay. I hope that Ditto has fixed them. That he's able to set lap times. Well, he's got 8 time. It might be an out lap. But yeah, Ditto is driving. Hopefully no more issues for him. Marcus, currently fastest in the practice session. And we're going to run a quick ad in a moment. And I'm going to run, while that ad is running, Yeah, we're going to do it as soon as the timer hits 0, even if drivers are still driving for a bit. It's only practice, not missing much, trust me. Yeah, and I'm going to complete my mission. And I need to grab some water, because I don't have any water. So, yeah, I had to fix a lot of things right before the stream started. So, that's how it is. I'm quickly going to mute up in a moment. Renew an ad. And yeah, we can get started with qualifying in just a couple of moments. Let's have a look at Domska. Currently P4 in standings. We'll be hoping for a good result today. Ah, I noticed I muted the wrong sound. Well, little bit of discussion there. Giving books to my girlfriend who left, well, I would say left the books. It was in the bookcase in the room. Yeah, nothing harmful said. We don't normally talk trash about the drivers when nobody's listening. So, I have no idea who came out first. We're just gonna wing it. Actually, let's stick with Domska. Domska will really want to qualify, and he is such a good qualifier. So, let's see what he can do around this, I think, slightly unknown track. Very unknown track, potentially, of Cascais, otherwise known as Estoril. In Portugal, it's going to vibe a little bit like Portimao. A little bit, not too much. You see, it starts with a long corner, but that is not the start of the lap. The start of the lap is here. Start finish straight. It's a very long one, and it is a sweeping right-hander into another. Yeah, that's a fully sweeping right-hander, flat out. Scary because you can't see what's coming, and then there is a hairpin uphill. Get under throttle, very tricky to do correctly. Insane thing here. You do want a very good exit here because it is a little bit of a straight here. Flat out corner, nothing to worry about here. Just makes driving side by side a little bit more challenging. Brake for another sweeping hairpin, kind of. You have quite a big area where you want to throttle for a good exit. And through here, another kind of sweeping hairpin right-hander. Up the hill to the right here. It is a release there. And then through here, this is tricky. Brake right after turning. Get a good run through there. Domska seems to have very good control. Unfortunately, it is a little bit jittery. I'm hoping that is not OBS giving issues. It has happened before, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Okay, it's just a little bit of aimless to shenanigans. But Domska currently fastest, ahead of Decrap, ahead of Randers, ahead of Marcus. That is interesting. That is interesting, because that is very much the reverse of the championship standings right now, the top 4. If it finishes like this, Domska has a very good chance to come back to win the championship in the end. Dustin in P5, he will be happy with that a little bit. It will still be a banker for him, but it's showing that the changes have helped. He is now able to put in a lap much quicker, much easier. I do notice that Onofme and Cavalo are not qualifying. They, of course, let me remind you, got a penalty. They will be starting from the back. Gerald and Michael are also kind of where they belong, and then Juppo we have ahead of the back of the field, behind Michael, Gerald, Dustin, kind of the mini midfield, the upper midfield. I guess Juppo forms the lead of the lower midfield. But the times aren't really fully set yet. Silver is still driving. He can very much be part of that. He's not normally a pace merchant, but he used a little bit of slipstream from his teammate to start his run. Now let's have a look. So let's keep running in the wake of his teammate Randers, which is going to give him a little bit of dirty air. He's hoping that will be compensated with the slipstream effect that he has had on the South Finnish straight. And he might get again if Randers is not actually on the lap. Randers might decide, you know what, I'm going to help my teammate. And I'm wondering what Silver can do. I feel like Silver kind of struggles with how tricky a car can be. He makes not necessarily big mistakes, but like small errors that add up. And with the car allegedly being a bit more stable now, a bit easier on throttle, I think he's got a little bit of extra chance. Oh, he does make a mistake though. Really trying to push it through there, and that is why that slow corner can be so tricky. And look at that. Look at who is on top. Mr. I ditched VR. Now my performance is a lot better. I hope I can do a bit better. Is on pole position. Oh, I don't know what happened there. That's weird and interesting. Was that Silver? I think it was Silver in the menu. Hitting Dustin. We'll be a bit annoyed with that, but yeah. We'll be a bit annoyed, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. It just came out of the pits. A little bit frustrating for Dustin, maybe. We've got Domska, Randers, Dikra and Marcus still in reverse order for the championship. Except for Randers is now ahead of Dikra. Okay. Very good. I'm going to have to adjust my list a little bit because it's all out of sorts. Domska P2, I'm not sure he's happy with that. I think he really needs to win this race, and I think that is his only goal today. Win the race, worry about everything else later. Marcus isn't that good at qualifying. That's okay, he still wins races, he's very good at race pace. He's been so quick during a race. But he does have to start from P5 as it stands, and that can be a bit debilitating. Behind that we have Geralt and Michael, who have lost touch with their friend Dustin. Good news, they got a new friend. Juppo is right there with them in terms of time. There's a new driver, a new Finnish driver. Let me show you the Finnish flag. Oh, look, it's a Finnish flag. All despite the fact that we're not at the end of the race yet. Anyway. Domschkat then, what is he doing? Well, he will be pushing the wheels off of this car. Hopefully not literally, that would mean that you crashed. Let's see what he can do. All these corners really trying to optimize the speed through there, get a good exit. But he still has to release there a little bit. Ooh, and he ends up a little bit wide. It's not perfect, it's not perfect. Gonna lose a little bit of speed on the straight. But it's an improvement, and it's enough to go to pole position. And that is a gap. That is a bit of a gap. 1.5 tenths. Dustin still has every chance to improve. So does Randers. So does Dikra. So does Marcus. It does have to be said. Okay, Dustin is not improving this time around. Randers across the finish line. No improvement there. Dikra is setting up. And Marcus, I think, has just started his lap. Very interesting to see Michael ahead of Gerald. The gap is small, but it is there. Nothing Juppo. Still did a very solid job. Of course, reserve driver hasn't practiced as much as other people will have. I do see JJ and Silver haven't set a lap time yet. They are not banned as far as I'm aware. They are driving in fact, but they simply haven't set a time yet. We saw what happened to Silver. JJ might be having similar issues. Really trying to get a qualifying lap in. It's sometimes just a lot trickier than driving consistently in a race. It depends honestly on who you are. Oh, that's a bad run for Marcus. And he recognizes it. Goes back into the pits. Oh. Apologies. So what happens through this corner is, yeah, you want this. You want full throttle at the end of it. That is what you want. Then you will get the best speed to the start-finish line. 5 minutes to go and Dustin starts his lap. Turn 1, very solid. Turn 2, essentially flat out. A little bit tricky. I feel like there's one turn where you can make mistakes. That will have consequences. A bit of a slide there, but Dustin controls it on throttle. Very controlled driving style. Very smooth. The JJ has now set a lap time. It is immediately P9. Very strong, very good. Paradise right behind him. See, he is releasing the throttle early. Ooh, and has to keep doing it. I don't think that's optimal. Yeah, and he realizes I'm losing time here. That's not great. Domska still in the lead, and time is ticking. 3 minutes 45 seconds to go. Domska has time to improve. So does Randers, Decra, Marcus, and Dustin, who's really put himself into the championship. I think, honestly, I feel like if it finishes like this and I get Dustin for the interviews, he will be kicking himself for not ditching VR earlier. I feel like he will not actually be happy no matter what. If he does well, he should have, you know, ditched VR earlier and he would have fought for the championship. If he doesn't do well, then, yeah, you can't be happy with that. Because he definitely has an opportunity here. He's definitely faster, more, yeah, his PC is more stable. So it should just work a lot better for him. So a worse result isn't really acceptable. And if it's much better, it's also not acceptable. Best case scenario for Dustin is to bag a P5. Domska does not finish his lap. It's hard to finish a lap. That's kind of what we're seeing. It's that last corner. The last corner is a little bit hard to calculate. And people are abandoning laps on it. Brander's kind of in an awkward position here. I think he is setting up for a lap. It's a little bit too passive to be for a competitive run. Marcus, I think, is driving right now. On a flying lap. He will have an opportunity to bail out if it's not what he wants. But he can't wait too long. 1:11 is kind of the time to go around. If the timer... Yeah, okay, he bails out, Realizes it's not good enough, I have time to start another one. They will be thinking about these things. They will be like, okay, if there's this much time and I'm not improving, then I can go back and go again. Dustin, yeah, last to exit. So now, I think if you reset, you've got one more opportunity, Randers. One more opportunity. But now if they've reset, it is kind of over for them. Maybe one more opportunity, but that's about it. You do see the car is ghosted for Domska when we go trackside. I don't know what that means. He is just driving completely fine. Don't worry about it. Domska starts his lap to try and improve. Dustin is setting up for one. Brandon is setting up for one. Decra is still setting up for one. And Marcus, I think he's also setting up for one. So Domska is currently on a flying lap and literally nobody else from the top 5 for today. Also notice Silver hasn't set a time yet. if he's really struggling that much for that last corner, I would recommend to at least set a time. Otherwise, he will end up behind someone that got a qualifying ban, which is a little bit embarrassing. But that's about it. That's about it. It's not really consequential. Cross the line for Domska then. Last opportunity to improve. It is an improvement, but it's tiny. It is minuscule. Maybe leaving an opportunity up on the table for Dustin, who is currently on his fastest lap. I would very well hope. Otherwise, it's simply too late. Dustin is on another straight. Randers is entering that same straight. Where is Dikra? Either a little bit behind or a little bit ahead of Dustin. I think that is... No, that is Silver ahead of him. Marcus, through the last section of the track, will be first to finish his lap. What's it going to be for Marcus then? Who goes onto that curb by a lot, and I don't know if that's going to be good for him. 5th place currently. And that's just going to be where he stands at best, and probably exactly where he stands, if we're honest. We have Dikra then, P4 currently 4/10 behind. It's gonna be P4 with 4/10 behind, even after crossing the finish line. And that's the end of the qualifying session. It ended exactly as it was, with a pole position for a very thirsty Domska. A hungry Domska, depending on if he would like some liquids or something a little bit more physical. Okay, we're quickly gonna run an ad. I need to, otherwise we'll get interrupted. We don't want that. I'll be back. And for those people that are subscribed, yeah, gotta quickly validate if everything I have written down is correct. We do see Gerald has improved past Michael. Then we have Yupo doing a very solid job. That gap is fairly small. Gap to the next guy is a lot bigger. Silver sets his lap, and it's actually right there, P9. Then JJ Apex. Oh, Apex, very good improvement. Very nice job. Ride or Die, nota bene. Gomestos not having the best qualifying here. Oh, he got 2 grid places, that's why. And then we have Keza, Das, Ditto, Me, and Kafalor. That's how they start. And that's how they will line up on the grid. Okay. And as they have their 2 minutes break, we have a small ad break. It is mandatory. Unfortunately, Twitch makes me do it. Otherwise, I genuinely wouldn't. I don't earn anything from it. It doesn't give you anything. It's so, like, nothing. So, yeah. It is what it is. I mean, partnership has some perks, but I don't like this part. I understand it. I don't like it. Okay, so what's going to happen during the race? Well, quickly looking at a few stats. Doesn't seem like... I feel like Marcus is slightly higher downforce. That might help him during the race quite a bit. Yeah. Let's have a look then at what the grid looks like. We have Domska, another pole position for him. This is only another problem. Can he stay there during the race? That's the question. Then we have Dustin, who will be so happy to be in P2. Will be fighting for a win today here. Let's wish him all the best. No technical gremlins today. Here we have Randus and Dikra and Marcus. The fight for the championship is a little bit... yeah, the top 3 is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's interesting. So they have 2 people to drive past before they make it really a fight only between themselves. Then we have Geralt and Michael, Yupo, Silver, JJ, Apex, and Ride or Die in 12th place. Last point-paying position, of course. Then we have Nota Bene, Ultimate Keze. I think, I have Gomestos too far up on the list. He is, in fact, 16th. Keze is 14th. Then we have Das. Then we have Gomestos. Then we have Ditto, Me, and Kafalor. There was a 2-place grid position. I thought it was already applied. It was not. I should have double-checked. Alright. So, that's the starting grid. we have Gomestos in P16. He's a 14. That's 15. Everything else on the list, I think, was accurate. And, of course, pole position of Domska. Second place for Dustin, the organizer of the league. Been struggling with VR technical gremlins. Yeah, should be solved today. We are doing 39 laps. And we're about to start. I'm very excited. I'm quickly going to have a sip of water. The very quick sip, because we're already ready to go. There you go. Domska start. It's a decent start for him. But I feel like Dustin himself also has a very good start. Randers is already side by side though, on the inside, trying to get rid of Dustin immediately. And he does. Dekra close behind, and Marcus... Oh, side by side with Dekra already, but Dekra tries to go around the outside of Dustin. Dustin covers it off. It was a bit opportunistic. That is how the top 5 goes. Randers wins a position and tries to put his hand back onto that leader's trophy, or the winner's trophy that he will virtually get at the end. Only still P2 on the inside then. Ooh, it's late on the brakes for Marcus. Nearly hits Dekra. Thankfully, no issues there. As the top 2 does kind of run away with it. Dustin is holding up Dekra and Marcus. This might be a difference in strategy. I think Dustin might be on the hards and a lot heavier. Randers and Domska look to be on the softs. I think that's just the difference that we're looking at, because this gap is way too big already. In fact, Domska is already a second away. Domska is doing season 5 kinds of things, where he does just kind of run away and win races. Randers in P2, Dekra overtaking Dustin for P3. Cars are so jittery. I think it's just kind of a server issue. Dekra makes his way past and is going to immediately try and get away. Marcus still having to deal with Dustin, trying to do it immediately. Dustin defends it. All fair and square. It is going to be a bit of a massive Dustin train, who I don't know if there is an issue or if he is the only person on hards. It might genuinely be that Dustin thought, I think hards are the best, and everybody else thought, nah. We are all going to go softs. We've seen the German Grand Prix around the... what was it? Not the Nürburgring, Hockenheimring. Where... was it that one? No, it was a different one, I think. Oh, I forgot. It's okay. Regardless, there was a race, I think it was Hockenheim, where the soft strategy worked insanely well. No, it was before Hockenheim. Yeah, it works insanely well, and then everybody started adopting a lot more soft tires, which people thought wasn't really useful. Marcus still stuck behind Dustin, not really getting any closer. And look at what happened at the top. Randers is look at who's ahead of him. That's right, a dot on the horizon. Domska is 3 seconds away. Dekra is 3 seconds away from Randers. Oh, makes a big mistake actually. Dustin's gonna see that, get it a little bit closer, and Marcus. Oh, I think Marcus is absolutely kicking himself. He doesn't want to be stuck behind Dustin. And this is exactly what Domska needs. Exactly what he needs to keep his championship hopes alive. Randers isn't very fast either. We're gonna see a Domska renaissance, trying to steal this championship away from 3 drivers who have proven themselves so capable. All 3 of them. Marcus is still stuck behind Dustin, but now the gap has increased a little bit. He actually has to look in his mirrors a little bit more, but we have seen that Marcus can be so good at the end of a race. Start of a race, he's often not quite there, but if you count him out now, he will come back. He will come back. Behind, we do have Gerald and Michael fighting. Michael trying to make an overtake. He's on the inside, and that is gonna be that for him. Currently right behind his teammate. Of course, there is a bit of a team battle going on here. It looks like Marcus is getting bogged down a little bit. He will want to fight for the championship, but where he currently is, Despite the fact that he's a championship leader, let me remind you, this is not going to be enough to win the championship. He's going to need to do better. We do have a couple of retirements already, actually. I didn't see the order in which they retired, so we're going to have to guess. And Marcus actually letting his teammate by. I think Marcus has genuine issues. Marcus has proper issues. Currently P7. It's a disaster. It's a total disaster for Marcus. And I'm still trying to find out who left. I think Silver left, which is very unfortunate. I think Juppo also left, and I'm really sad about that. Juppo looked to be quite happy camper today. Good pace, but yeah, unfortunately doesn't survive the race for very long. And we do see Dikra has now crawled towards Randers. Randers losing so much pace, and Dikra wants to fight his old rival again. In season 5 and 6, it was Domska that kept him honest. And now Dikra is fighting for a championship that looked like it's slipped away from him a little bit. He will have every opportunity to fight for it still. Domska is still a threat though. He's currently in the lead. And Dikra overtaking Randers would not only be good for Dikra, of course, more points, very good, but also good for Domska. Because that means that the top 4 drivers are in reverse order. And that gives them the best opportunity to try and win the championship next week in Japan. We don't know what is happening to Marcus, unfortunately. I still haven't figured out who the last retirement is. As I'm quickly trying to do that, Das is still driving. Not to be still driving. I think Ride or Die has in fact died. So that is our retirements, Ride or Die, Juppo, and Silver no longer in this race. I don't know what happened. I assume there was an incident. As riders they normally are in this league. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the chat in the Discord will enlighten us a little bit as Dikra gets so close. We have that corner, and there he goes on the inside in the spot where you don't normally see it, but he really set it up to perfection. Dikra currently in 2nd place, but the gap to Domska is massive. How is it this big? What is going on? There's an incident. There's an incident. Randers made a mistake, I think, touched the back wheel of Dikra, and they fall back so far. Oh my god! And with Marcus being so far behind as well. Domska gets another lead in the championship. He might in fact be in the lead after this race. Domska is so back. He is so back. Oh my goodness, that is quite a bad mistake from, I think it was Randers there. Dikra as a result P8, Randers P7, Marcus P6. They are again in, well, that's the championship order, I think. But yeah, they're currently fighting for P6. In fact, Dikra is holding on for dear life, trying to hold on against his teammate, who he will hope is actually just going to let him go and not fight it too much. Because this is a very unfortunate incident between 2 championship contenders. Dikra has it all to fight for. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage. That is also something that we'll need to think about. Michael currently in P2 will be buzzing. He will not. Michael's always very considerate about other drivers. He won't actually be happy about being P2 for the reason that he is currently P2. And I genuinely think that Dustin is on hards. And might be saving a pit stop. I'm curious, what are we seeing here? It's almost like there's 3 types of tires, but there's not. There's only hards and softs. Oh, Silver, his engine blew up. I think he was still in the qualifying setup. That's unfortunate for Silver. Hopefully next race. Oh, 1 more to go. Gotta make sure the engine doesn't blow up. Okay, Dikra is catching up to Randers again. Randers is very slow. I think Randers is also on hards. I think that's what would led to conclude. Marcus, I'm not so sure. If he is on hards, he's doing a very good job. If he is on softs, he's not doing a good job. It's as simple as that. Well, I wouldn't say good job. He's doing an alright job if he's on hards. JJ, I hope for Marcus that he's on softs. And Dustin, I'm pretty sure Dustin is on hards, is doing a very solid job as well. He does need to save, I think, 2 pit stops over Domska. Unless Domska is also going to hards in like 2 laps. No later. Domska is absolutely flying. Showing the qualities of a champion, former champion, 5th season. It was him. Last season it was Dikra, his rival. Domska looked to be so out of it. He currently has 94 points. If he wins, he will get 25, plus maybe a fast lap. Let's ignore the fast lap for now. 25, he will get 129 points. Marcus is currently in P5. I don't know exact points, but he will end up, I think, slightly behind that. It will be worse for Randers and even worse for Dikra, because so right now it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race for the championship at the end of next race. But I do have to mention that there is definitely different strategies going on. It's not over yet. Dikra is now fighting Randers. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I don't know if he's frustrated, angry. Normally, a lot of drivers will get angry and frustrated. He's gonna try and make a move maybe, but if he forces it, he knows. Yeah. Oh, it is contact from his teammate, Cafalo. Oh God, Cafalo. Last race, it was also him that made a couple of mistakes, getting a penalty for it. This time he takes out his teammate and robs his teammate from a fight against Randers, and Dikra will now actually be fuming. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage. He does look a little bit cautious. Now, let's see what he decides to do with this situation. He boxes and tries to fix it and hopes for a safety car. That might be... or maybe he keeps driving and hopes for a safety car. He's still going to lose time. Domska still in the lead. Currently 29 seconds ahead of Dikra. 27 of Randers. And Marcus 23 seconds, 24 seconds behind, in fact. Chasing down Dustin, who is already, I think, also outside of the pit window will be a bit larger. Maybe 25, 30 seconds? It's going to be a bit of a tough one, because it is on the pits, start finish straight is very fast. That's where the boxes are, so you lose a lot of speed compared to other people. You stay in the pit for a little longer, because you need to refuel, you need your tires swapped. So the pit delta is going to be quite big. That said, I don't think Domska is fueling for a lot. I think he is going softs all the way. And look at how fast it is. It would have almost been faster for people to realize their mistake on lap 1 and go to softs there. Almost. Because of how much of a gap Domska has already pulled to everyone else. I think... Ooh. JJ is in the pits. First person to blink. I do think he was on soft as well. So this is kind of where we're going to see people box. It's looking like a 2-stop then. For the likes of Domska. Maybe a 1-stop. For a lot of other drivers. No, sorry, that's a 3-stop, isn't it? He's doing about 10 laps. About 40 lap race. You would need to do 4 stints. 3-stop. Okay. Well, if Domska's gonna pit now, it's probably gonna be a 3-stop then, right? Unless he... No, he doesn't stop yet. He's definitely going to try to extend into a 2-stop. And that might very well be the winning strategy, because his pace is still electric, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. 112.2. Much faster than anyone else. He's doing qualifying laps. I don't know what Domska has found, but he is so incredibly quick. And I hope that if he found something in the setup, he shares it after this race, so that the top 4 has a fair chance of beating him. Because the way this race has gone, Marcus is going to be the only person even fighting for winning the championship against Domska. It's crazy how quickly things can switch. I did say last time it's going to be unlikely. He needs a bit of luck. Well, it seems like a little bit of luck has come Domska's way. And now it's up to Marcus, Dikra, and Randus to try and come back from that. Randus has dropped off a lot. Now currently behind Cavalo. I'm not sure why Dikra and Randus have swapped places, but they have. I don't think Randus has stopped. It would be much further behind. Behind JJ, in fact. Look how far behind JJ is after his stop. That's about how much you lose. And there we go. Domska is in the pits. Right behind Ditto, in fact. Which is a little bit funny. Might have lost him a little bit of time. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. Michael will inherit the lead. Look at this man. I'm sure he will appreciate this when he rewatches this. Our current race leader, Michael MH7 from Austria. There he goes. For the Red Bull Sauber Ford team. Enjoy it while it lasts. When you stop, you will be far behind. Gerald is in second place, and Domska is already in third place. He's already ahead of Dustin, ahead of Marcus, ahead of Dikra, ahead of Cavalo, ahead of Randus. This race could not have gone any better for him. I will say Dustin is very close behind, and the fact that Domska's tires are probably not very warm yet, and that his engine is a lot fuller than Dustin's. The fact that he's much heavier, that might actually cost him quite a lot of time. Especially if Dustin is going to defend quite well. He's not going to be too fast because he's on hards that are worn. This might actually not work out for Domska that well. If he stayed ahead, it would have been completely different. But the fact that he's fallen behind, that can cost him. That's not to be underestimated. If Domska is again on the softs and low on fuel, relatively speaking, then he will get an opportunity to overtake here. He is trying for that. Slipstream is helping him a bit, but it's not enough to get side by side. And there we go. He's going to have to do it another creative way. Michael has now boxed from the lead. Going to drop back quite a bit. We'll get a very good measure of how much you lose. He's actually still ahead of Randus. So about 24 seconds is what I would say you lose from a pit stop. Pretty big. Gerald Smith now in the lead of the race, of course. Let's get him to extend a little bit. I don't think we're going to see any one-stops. But it's also possible that Randus is trying to extend to that. I don't know. I don't believe in it anymore. Domska is having a problem here. Dustin is costing him time. Absolutely. And he's going to have to solve it here on the start of his straight. Unfortunately, he's too quick too early. He's not going to get the slingshot he wanted. He's still going to have the slipstream. But Dustin is just so fast in a straight line. Around the outside then, no. That's a fair block. That's fine. Oh, there's a mistake there from one of the Ligier cars. I think that might be Das. This is the only Ligier car here today. Still rolling. That's good. As long as the rejoin is safe, everybody's happy. Who else is happy? Dustin is currently the leader of the race as Gerald has boxed. And so Dikra, Cavalo and Randus all in the pits. Dikra and Randus, I'm not sure if they will be very happy with each other after what is going on this race. Yeah, Dustin in the lead for now. And I think he will be quite happy to keep it. If he can hold up Dustin, he'll be... Domska. He'll be doing a very, very good job for other drivers, but also himself. Don't get it twisted. Holding up Domska is actually helping Dustin as well. Absolutely. Because Dustin is on a different strategy. And he's not allowing Domska to drive Domska's strategy. Domska will need this, and if hypothetically every strategy is equal, this would be Dustin winning. We're not there yet, obviously. Domska is still very fast. He is really trying to make these overtakes, and look at how close he is. How incredibly close he is, but he's just not there. Around the outside here then, around the hairpin. Oh, it's a good attempt, but it's not close good enough. Around this hairpin and around the outside. He's gonna need a good exit. Oh, he seems to be getting it. And that ends the defense for Dustin doing such a good job. But it seems like Domska he doesn't have it yet. Dustin is faster in a straight line. Oh, late on the brakes. A little bit of a slide there. Is it going to be enough? Yes, Domska makes it past and becomes the race leader yet again. And it is now his task to try and run away. Hopefully his tires are still up to snuff for him. But he needs to haul. He needs to get away from everybody as fast as he can. If he's not able to, then that's the problem. Marcus is very close behind Dustin. That might be a good thing for Marcus. I couldn't tell you. That's not Domska, right? That is not Domska. Okay. That's Gomestos, I think, having a bit of an issue. It's the same livery. It's his teammate. But yeah, I got a little bit worried there. That would have been a bit too insane for me. Marcus going to MP3. If he finishes like this, I think he's still ahead in the championship. And he will have every opportunity to defend his championship. But I don't know if it's going to finish like this. The strategy differences are wild. Dustin and Marcus seem to be two drivers on their own committed to a one-stop. Because Dika has already stopped. And so has Randers, if we're just looking at the championship. Those two have already stopped. Dika currently P6. We'll be quite happy with that. Randers P9. That is not a happy P9. That is not a happy P9. Let me double emphasize how unhappy that P9 is. Randers is seeing this championship evaporate in front of him. And like, if we're honest, what's causing it? Is it a couple of incidents at the start? Really, it's a poor qualifying. It's poor. It's qualifying behind Dustin, who happens to have the most inconvenient strategy. Being very slow, but having a setup good enough that he can defend on the straights anyway. If he had a setup exactly the same as everyone else, it would not have been a problem. Marcus's strategy is also working out. He and Dustin may have found something very impressive here. They're going to stop again. Well, they're going to stop once, exactly. Domska does also need to stop again. I feel like Domska's still winning this race, but Marcus has every opportunity to finish second. That's going to be the goal for Marcus. And if we're looking at the timings, honestly, Dustin and Marcus are still lapping quite well. They're not losing that much pace. They're not doing the 12s that Domska was doing last stint. I think Domska will be aiming for this stint. He's not doing those right now either. So maybe Domska switched to a hard tire as well, in which case it's obviously very impressive. No notes, and then he will just win this race. But I don't think that's the case. Gerald is defending against Michael. It's a midfield battle, the upper midfield, these two drivers. It is today. Dustin has promoted himself to the peak of the field. I think he's tried something strategical. I'm not sure if it has worked out. I also see somebody else is retired. I think it's not Onofme. Onofme is doing a very good job. I think it's Gomestos who, after his incident, retired. Which is unfortunate. I do want to very quickly highlight Onofme currently in P8. I don't know if he stopped. Unfortunately, there's no way of me finding out. It doesn't say. It straight up doesn't say. I wish it did. No, it really doesn't say. Double checking. I'll be currently in P8, doing a very good job. Actually, I want to know, what is his lap time? 1:16. Not the fastest, but he is in P8. That's all that matters. Randers behind him. Randers will wobble. P9 is, again, not a happy P9. But he's got time. He's got time. We're only halfway through this race. And it's been a very strategical race. Not as spectacular as other races so far. It might all come together at the end. So very much stay tuned. This is not over in any way. Marcus and Dustin still haven't stopped. Marcus and Dustin still haven't stopped. Yeah, that sounds wrong, but that's true. They still haven't stopped. They're over halfway through this race. I'm fairly certain they haven't stopped yet. Because they wouldn't be this close to Domska if they had. They are this close to Domska. This is a problem for Domska. If they're able to go softs, oh, that's a problem for Domska. Because then these two are fighting for a win. And Marcus is fighting for winning this championship, let me remind you. I did take into account the possibility of Marcus winning the championship today. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I will need to do some quick maths after the race is over. I didn't write down every scenario yet, which I will need to do for the next. Oh, I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it. I need to write down literally every scenario for the next race. I'm afraid, because yeah, I can't just get away with. Let's do a difference in points. There you go. Marcus goes into the pits. He's trying to strategically overtake Dustin, I think. Probably gonna be another fill me up, put hearts on my car, I'm gonna drive to the end. That's what Marcus is gonna do. I'm fairly certain. Gerald is gonna overtake, and so is Michael. But where is he gonna come out with respect to Dikra? That is a question. Yeah, okay, he's coming out behind Dikra. Cafalor there. If he goes out ahead of Cafalor, it's still a good stop. And I think that is... Yes, Marcus ahead of Cafalor. That is still a fairly good position. Got the opportunity to drive to Dikra. There is a little bit of space. He will be able to do his pace, which will probably not be as fast as Dikra right now. So he doesn't need to worry about Dikra right now. Dikra is going to stop and end up behind him. That's what Marcus is going to think. Marcus needs to worry about Dustin. He needs to try and get these tires into a good window. Drive a couple of good laps. Ensure that he gets relatively close to Dustin after stops. And then try to overtake. I don't think he's going to be able... I don't think the undercut is going to happen. But I might be wrong. Maybe it is an undercut situation. We also need to look at what's Dustin doing. He's in the pits right now. So we're going to get our answer very, very quickly. Is it going to be an undercut? Good stop there. Very much on edge, but he did it. Okay, staying in the pits for a decent amount of time. Marcus is here. Going through the last corner. Dustin is moving again. He's got a very short run. Marcus, you can see his opponent, but it's quite far away. Marcus, yeah, unfortunately the overcut is so much stronger in these cars. It is the lightness of the car and the fact that Marcus is fully full of his car. Like, this thing is so heavy as it can be. Almost. It was at the start of the race, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Dustin ahead of Marcus. That's going to be a little bit of a problem for Marcus' championship. But if Marcus and Dustin still finish P2, P3, Marcus will be alright with it. I'm fairly certain. And I do think that's a very realistic possibility. Everybody else ahead of him is still going to stop. Dikara's going to stop. Michael's going to stop. Gerald's going to stop. Domska definitely is going to stop. But Domska probably will not emerge behind them. I do think Domska will win this race. He is so quick. Oh, and that's a big crash. Yeah, that's in the wall. Hitting with the back, and that's his rear wing gone. He's got to be a little bit careful there. When you don't have your rear wing, all of your pressure is on the front. And if you go through a corner a little bit too quick, it can mean spitting out, like, immediately. That is Randers being led by. And Das will try to drive this car to the pits. Other things worth noting. Ultimate Kiza is in the points. That is very good news. He's been a bit absent from this championship. Hasn't scored any points yet. Ooh, a little bit of contact with the wall there. Not ideal. Hasn't scored any points yet for this championship. I think he's going to let someone by in a bit. That might be... Yes, that will probably be the championship leader. Unless it's not. Okay. I think it was Ditto behind him. Domska still in the lead as it stands. I think I need to look up the scoring table because they changed it for the season. I don't know it off the top of my head. And it's unfortunately not so easy to look up things in the what do you call it? In the chat that in the Discord that we use. I think someone was on the grass. I don't think it's anyone. I don't want to say nobody important, but yeah, okay. The people the main characters of the championship are still where they should be. Good. Yeah. So the new point system, right? 25 points for the winner, which will be Domska. Marcus, if he finishes P60, we're going to get 8 points. Now we calculated 129 for Domska after this race. If everything's... is that true? 119 after this race. Yeah, and Marcus is getting 8 points. Actually, he's going 121. He's going 121. That's a small gap. That's a small gap. If Marcus finishes 6th, small gap, doable. Domska's back in this. If Marcus finishes P3, which I think is a very realistic possibility, Marcus will get 16 points. He currently has 113. He will get 129. That's a 10-point gap. That is doable, technically, but you are banking on Marcus finishing 4th. I wouldn't bank on Marcus finishing 4th. So, yeah, if Domska is lucky, Geralt and Michael can stay exactly where they are. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's see. This race still has time in it. And, of course, all of our speculation means nothing compared to actual facts. Things that actually happen on the track. Okay. A lot has happened this race, and it's honestly mostly on the strategy front. Couple of things worth noting. Of course, Domska, as it stands, moves himself back into a championship fight. That fight will be with Marcus as it stands. Randus will have a bit of difficulty. If Dekra finishes where he is, I didn't mention it. Of course, P4 is 12 points. Dekra would get up to 117. Very much in range of winning this championship as well. Very much so. He's not going to finish 4th though. I don't think that's very likely. But we do have to take into account what if there is a safety car. Also, Marcus is having to contend against a teammate of Dekra who might make this a lot more fun for Dekra. Cavalo overtakes Marcus. Marcus isn't really going to fight it. He's actually going to be quite happy to follow, I think. Just because he's not going to drive the pace of people on the softs. He is doing a very extreme tire saving, fuel saving strategy. I don't know about fuel saving, but definitely tire saving. He is going to try and finish this race with a one-stop. He is joined by Dustin, who's trying to do the same. And it has to be said, Dustin is doing a very solid job. Domska is in the pits for the 2nd time. This is interesting. Where's Geralt gonna go? I think he's still gonna keep driving. He might dive into the pits though. It's not time for him yet. And Michael also continues. Domska comes out of the pits. I think both Michael... No, Michael does not go ahead. Domska is currently 2nd behind Geralt. And he's quite close. And he's going to be lightning quick. Lightning quick. Held up by a backmarker a little bit. But only a little bit. That is actually very nicely done. I believe by Ditto. It's not even Ditto. Ditto's doing a good job. Of me? No, it's not. Sorry. Ditto's behind of me. But of me has to let them pass. Okay. Randus in the pits. JJ will likely overtake, but JJ I think also has to stop again. And he actually stops immediately, so that's very convenient for Randus. Notabene then, he's also going into the pits. This is as calculated by a lot of people independently. Kiese is just going to be behind Randus. Randus already out of the pits and also going to make it to the end of the race on his current set. But the gap between him and Marcus is huge. It's huge. But it's not impossible. If he is on softs, he's convinced he can push and make them last, then there is every opportunity for Randus to actually overtake. Domska's now in the lead, and Geralt is in the pits. And we have Michael also in the pits. And I'm very curious to see where these three come out with respect to Dustin and Cavalo and Marcus. Mostly Marcus, honestly. See these three still in the pits. Geralt's already driving out. That is interesting. Michael's driving out. And Dikra also driving out. But he's behind Marcus. Marcus behind Geralt. And Geralt is going to do something very annoying. He's going to fight Dustin and prevent Marcus, I think, from getting the points that he really needs. P5 is 10 points. Marcus would be at 123. Still in the lead. Still absolutely in the lead. It's not a good gap. Because at that point, if Domska wins next race, Domska wins the championship. It's that simple. Marcus needs a little bit more then. P5 is just not good enough. He's going to need a little bit of luck. Cafalo is still in the mix and he's going to move back. So actually, it's probably alright. That's probably alright. The bigger problem really is his teammate. If team orders are a thing, I would issue them. Because this is really big for the championship. Marcus winning this race will be a really big deal for him. Well, Dustin and Geralt also back to back. I wonder what their plan is going to be. Cafalo is now in the pits. I do think Geralt is just going to want to overtake and say, well, your one-stop strategy is very cute. I think it's brave that you attempted it, but it's just not very good. And I'm going to overtake. I'm going to maybe get second place. I'll be very happy with that. Very curious to see what Michael is going to do. I'm so curious to see what Michael is going to do. Is he going to fight Marcus, his teammate, and maybe cause some problems? Because if we look a little bit further back, it's actually Dikra right there. This championship might be wide open after today. And it might actually be Domska with an advantage. Keys is now in the pits. Randers is also in P7. Now the gap is massive. The gap is absolutely massive. But I'm telling you, if something happens that there's a safety car, everything resets. Anything could happen. Quick, gonna take a sip of our water because I feel like I'm gonna need it in a bit. Okay, we're back because I've realized these two are very close to together, but not really fighting. I feel like Geralt is actually playing this fairly passively. I feel like if he wanted to go by, he would have already done it. But maybe Dustin is actually very good in a straight line. He's actually just able to defend. We did see at the start of the race Dustin defending an entire train quite well, in fact, for being on a bozo strategy, as I would like to call it. And then later on, against Domska, he did the same thing. So it seems like Dustin has found a really, really interesting set of conditions on his car. Where he's gonna be a little bit slow. He's gonna be, you know, heavy. Tires are hard. Conserving the tires as well, so it's a bonus on slowness. But like, he's still able to defend. He's just really fast in a straight line. I find it amusing. 31 laps in. Yeah, frustrating people left and right. 9 laps to go. Keep going. Good job. Marcus is going to get closer to Geralt. That might be an inconvenience. Michael is getting close. He's going to have to defend against Dikra, who is fighting for the championship. I don't think Randers is doing the times. I don't think Randers is doing the times he needs. And JJ does have a penalty. No, Randers is not doing the time he needs. Although, he might be about to do the times that he might almost need. Currently, he needs to win like 2 seconds a lap more. It's just not going to happen. I'm willing to call Randers P7. We're fairly certain. Very interesting situation where Dustin is going to train up the whole pack. Marcus ahead of Michael, who will be defending against Dikra. Michael has the tools to defend against Dikra. Marcus not so much. This is a problem for Marcus. Because it's also limiting what his teammates can do. Decra not really getting closer though. A little bit of luck there. Luck in the way things stand. Around the outside then, oh, it's not gonna happen. Decra is looking. Like, don't slow me down, don't hold me up. Decra can be very good in these recovery races. He's done it before. Like in this very race actually last season. Was the last season or the season before that? Where he had like a bunch of comebacks. I think it was the season before that. Fortunately, there are no driver tags over, like names over the drivers. You can see on the left, we currently are looking at Decra. Behind him is Michael, ahead is Marcus. And I've got Gerald and Dustin ahead of that. They are holding position. Decra now ahead of Michael. Michael fights back, and it's right back to how they were. Decra in the Ferrari. Really trying to salvage what looked to be a one championship after only 2 races. Oh, and that's a bit of contact. I think you can only ascribe that to him. Lose a bit of time there, and that is going to be a little bit of reprieve for Michael, for Marcus. Gerald and Dustin together are going to just drive into the sunset. But who's really driving into the sunset is, of course, Domska, who is entering lap 34 when other people are only halfway through lap 33. Incredible job from him today. You see 2 teams very much working together. Dustin, Gerald working together to secure 2 podium finishes. And Marcus and Michael working together to secure a chance for Michael to fight for the championship. Today, I think it's very fair to say he got the strategy wrong. The one-stop strategy was simply not to be. Turns out 2 stops with softs and absolutely hammering in the times is the way to go. There's a little bit behind Randers. Yeah, P7. It's going to be P7 for Randers. His championship not looking so good. It's going to be a life support after this race, unfortunately. But as it's the same as I said last race. I said Domska is going to need a little bit of luck. Oh, and Michael does go for a move on his teammate. Ooh, I don't know if that was the plan, but yeah, Michael is now ahead. What if there's any team orders involved here, if Michael wants to move up further, but it does make things harder for Marcus' championship, especially because it might make things so much worse because Decra is going to be faster. As Marcus ahead of him. If Decra overtakes Marcus, Marcus is going to have a very difficult time winning this championship next race. Well, very difficult. He's still going to have every opportunity to defend. It is still very much a possibility. But it's just not going to be as it would otherwise be. If Marcus finishes P4, that's 12 points. Marcus on 115. That is defendable with finishing second. I do think we had another retirement, unfortunately. The car is still in. Good news. Okay, there's nobody in the top. That's also good news. I think it's JJ, fortunately retired. Secret does try to close up on drivers ahead. Michael got past, but he's not really running away with it. Gerald and Dustin still very much working together. Domska already in lap 36. Interestingly, Decra is getting closer, so for the championship, this is very important. Marcus really does need to hold on. On the other hand, Decra really does need to get past. And in fact, if Decra gets past both of these drivers, Decra is also kind of back, maybe in the championship. It's gonna be tough, still. But he's kind of back. The real sacrifice here is Randers. Decra does need to make it past both of these and is fully back in the championship, I think. He's going to be fighting for its next race. And Randers gonna need a little bit of luck. Which I said about Domska before this race. And look at where he's at. Quickly check. I think somebody else has retired. No. Well, yes. But I don't know who. Oh, no, sorry. JJ had retired. It just didn't... Oh, I'm getting some bugs. Hang on. Okay, we fixed it. Marcus is being overtaken by Decra, and that is big for the championship. That is Decra back into that fight. And if he can get past Michael, that is him fully back. Now, he is running out of time. It's only 3 more laps. Decra does have the better pace. He's gonna stay ahead of Marcus. I think it's gonna be that simple. Getting to Michael and getting past is not going to be that simple. Maybe that's why they decided to swap. If Michael can stay ahead, that does give Marcus a small advantage over Decra. Honestly, most advantages are going to be essentially null and void, because I do feel like it's going to be a winner-takes-all situation. Kind of no matter what. Maybe. I feel fairly confident saying Domska is just going to have the fastest lap, and it's not going to be a contest. So we'll note that down. And look at how fast Decra is improving. So close to Michael. He will have this lap and the next to try and make it past. And I don't think we're going to have to wait until the last lap. Decra looks so confident right now. So quick. And it does end up being late in the race where he feels so comfortable. Dust is still in second place. The Benison team working together very well. Deciding not to fight. Saying, you know what? P2, P3. We're very happy with that. No nonsense. Maybe last lap they will fight. Maybe that's what Geralt has been planning anyway. But it's also good for the team. And there he goes. Decra on the inside of Michael. Beating the teammate of Marcus. And that will be big for the championship. Because now Decra is very much back into it. And if Michael is smart and he has... Oh! No, that's a mistake from Decra. Okay, but he stays ahead. He stays ahead of Michael, who is still behind. And they're going to enter the last lap. It's going to be Decra in 4th place. I think that's kind of going to be where he stays. Michael has the slipstream. He's getting a little bit closer. Let's see it through these corners. You can see the dominance that Decra's car is exuding on Michael. He's not going to get close. And also not going to get anywhere near the race leader, who looks to be winning a very strong race. It's back to Season 5 form for Domska. One update. It's all it takes. Car's a little bit more stable. And this man manages to get everything out of it. It is a 35-second win for Domska. Very, very deserved. Very nice donuts. Good job, Domska. Then Dustin and Geralt, I think they've signed a permanent peace treaty. Decra still under threat of Michael, and Michael will want to try to overtake. I don't know how the team is with team orders, if Michael is going to give Marcus the place instead if he fails. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's slowing down. He's slowing down. His team orders here. Is the Red Bull team. Marcus getting closer to Michael. Michael gonna let him go. He knows Michael is not in a fight for the championship, but Marcus is. Marcus gets that 5th place, and Michael is gonna finish P6. Followed by, inevitably, Randers, who will not be happy after today's race. I would love to hear from him. I will understand if he doesn't want to at this point, because that is painful. Enough me in 10th place. We'll get some points. We'll be very happy with that. Ultimate Keys in 11th. Then we have Apex in 12th. Ditto in 14th place. Das in 13th place. Ditto still no points, unfortunately. We'll get one more opportunity, one more race to do it. And I do, yeah, there was a couple of instances at the start. Let me see. Yeah, okay, the order is correct there. Double check, I think we're all good. Save this replay. All of me is celebrating the P10. I'm so happy to see that. I'm so happy to see that. You don't understand. I'm so happy to see people celebrate their P10. This is so good to see. That's your race winner. But what about the championship? Well, let's move on to our post-race scrutineering. I don't know. What would you call it? Yeah. I think, yep, everything is updated. And oh, how interesting. How interesting. I always like to do that before I show what's going on. I gave you many hints. You should be able to work it out. Who is currently the championship leader? It is still Marcus. But that's not a gap. That is an invitation. Invitation specifically for the man who I had written off after the last race. It is Domska in 2nd place in the championship, followed by Dikra, and Randus is at 115 points. Do some maths here. The difference is 8 points between Randus and Marcus. Now, a win will get you 5, but a win to 3rd will get you 9. Randus has a chance to win the championship. And next race, it is going to be for all the marbles. Marcus, Domska, Dikra, and Randus are all fighting for a championship next race in Japan on Suzuka. I couldn't ask for a better venue. We're doing it in 2 weeks. Write it in your calendar. We're doing it on the Sunday evening, 7 Central European summertime. Yeah, write it down. Then we have Geralt and Dustin, 66, 64, very close together. Those two will be happy to be there. Michael, 47 points, did a good job today. Very much played the team game. And we have Gomestos in P8, Toro in P9, Silver in P10, then Cavalo, and then Nota Bene. I do want to move on, because I do want to congratulate all of me with P13. Look at that. 9 points in the championship ahead of JJ, also 9 points, but P14 for him. We've got Jetlin, Daniel Gilligan, Apex, Ride or Die, Das, and Kiese. Ditto and Yupo are going to get points next race. I hope. I really think if Yupo finishes, it will happen. Ditto needs a little bit of luck, I'm afraid. A bit of a rough one for him today, but opportunity next time. Japan's not an easy track though, so not the easiest task. Team standings then. Red Bull team of Marcus and Michael in the lead, followed by the team of Domska. Then we have the team of Domska and who's the other driver? Gomestos, who's doing an alright job. Ferrari, of course, of Dikra and Cavalo are next, close to the Williams of Randus and Silver. And the Benetton team of Dustin and Gerald are very close. So, it looks like the Red Bull team will win the Constructors' Championship. The 2nd place is all to fight for, and the Drivers' Championship is a 4-way coin toss. Beautiful. Then we've got the other teams. They've not scored nearly as many points. You can see how top-heavy the championship has been. There's been a couple of very strong drivers occupying that top 10, and the rest are fighting for the scraps. Terrell doing that the best, though, out of everyone. Then we've got McLaren, a little bit of gap to Bonardi, Jordan, Ligier, and Lotus on 5 points. So that is that for the current standings. I'm going to get myself a timer because we do want to have some interviews. Let's start them in about 10 minutes. So let's do. Give myself a little bit of extra time. There we go. Should show up. There we go. And I will show you the driver standings. I'd never showed you, but I'd never showed you the race results, of course. But it's exactly as you saw. But I do have the little purple timer, which I'm very proud of. Yeah, that's the points as they get after a race. But yeah, driver standings are here. I'm going to run some music. I hope you really enjoyed this race. We still have interviews. Yeah, stick around for that. I'll be back in a bit. All right, welcome back to the interviews for the Portuguese Grand Prix that we just watched, and well, what a race that was. We have the entire top 3 to interview at least, and hopefully more drivers will join, because of course, the top 3, only one person of that is really in that top 4 that we have been watching so closely for this championship. As you can see on your screen, I will quickly actually move it, because we are going to invite this person for an interview. It's Domska. Hello.
Hi, Findict.
I can only imagine how you feel. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I think words cannot describe how happy I am, how satisfied I am with this win. Because, the last 15 races were not very good for me, because there were always some small things or very big things that didn't went my way. And today, everything went my way. And also, I had a very strong performance. I'm very satisfied with my setup and with my driving today. And if you look at the days before this race, we had Easter and holidays and stuff like that. And when I was out with my family or with my friends, or I did some things for school, I looked at the Discord server and I always saw people like Marcus practicing, or like Randers or Dustin. They were always on the practice server or in the practice Discord voice chat. And I was always doing other things. And I thought to myself, okay, they will have such an advantage, such a setup advantage, such a pace advantage this race. And I will be happy with a P5 or something like that. Then I did some practice rounds yesterday, and I was half a second off pace. Dustin and Marcus did some quali laps, and it wasn't possible for me to match them. So I thought, okay, race is over. I will finish P5, and I have to be happy with that. And then I did a practice round this afternoon with Dikra, and we created our own setup. And at least for me, it worked wonderful. And I was on pace. I was very happy with my quali sims, with my race sims. And then in the official practice this evening, I looked at the strategy, because we worked so hard on the setup, we didn't knew which strategy was good. I thought that a free stopper with soft would be the best strategy, because it was the best strategy with my old horrendous setup. And I tried it in the official practice server, and it wasn't very good, because Dikra did some runs on the hard tire this afternoon, so I had reference times, and I did the maths, and I saw that my strategy would be like 20 seconds slower or something like that, at least with this setup. And I switched on the hard the last second. The first lap that I did on the hard was in the last 5 minutes of the practice server, of this official practice. So I hadn't much training on the hard tires. And then I went into qualifying, did my best lap did a lap that was better than everything I did before. And then in the race, everything went my way. I was pulling away from Randers even before his little hiccup with Dikra. And I even thought that I forget to adjust the fuel because I was so much faster that I thought, oh, maybe I'm on a three stopper by accident now. And I wasn't. So I did my two stopper. They crashed into each other. And I had a very boring race. The only action that I had was when I met Dustin after my first pit stop. And I think that was a very fair battle. A very good one. He was very fast on the straights. I was fast in the corners. And I managed to pass him with I think, a very cool one maneuver. And yeah, that was basically my race.
All right. Well, it all worked out. You were lightning quick in that start as well. I also briefly thought, yeah, maybe he didn't have the fuel, but then I realized you were 6 laps in, and there's no way that's quality fuel. So that's when I felt like, okay, he's really got something there. Yeah, and I think you had a little bit of strategical benefit as well from the fact that Dustin started right behind you with the exact opposite strategy and with a setup to fight. But yeah, it worked out really well. In the end, you won by 35 seconds or something like that. So yeah, incredible job. And my question to you is, do you have any idea where this puts you in the championship?
We did the math after the race. I think I'm like 3 points or 4 points behind Marcus,
3 points,
I'm
yes.
in front. I'm in front of Marco of Randers and Dikra, so everything is still on. But you must say that Dikra missed the race in Spa, so I don't know. That will always be a thing. I will look back and I will question a bit if it's deserved because one driver hadn't the chance to drive all the races. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to the last race, and I hope that I can clinch back the title.
It would be an epic way to do it. After the last race, I kind of signed you off, but currently you're in second place with 120 points. Ahead of you, still Marcus with 123. Behind you, Dikra with 117, and Randers has 115, which is only 8 points out of
Yeah.
the leader. So very much a full way fight for the championship next race. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am very excited. But like I said, I hope the championship won't be decided because Dikra missed the race. So, but but it is needed that he has another bad race because if he has a normal race, the championship will be decided because he missed Spa. So that would be a shame. And yeah, I thought also in the middle of the season, and also now, I think in my personal view, the real champion will be the one. The real champion will be the one that has the most points if you exclude Spore all the way, because everyone gained a lot of points of Dikra that race. But that's only my view. And like I said, I will be happy if I win the title. But yeah, it would be a thing that I will be looking back at and thinking, what would be if Dikra had driven that race?
Yeah, well, as a fanatical Spa hater myself, I fully support this idea. But yeah, this is how the championship is now, and yeah, still fighting for it. Something
Yeah.
very exciting. If we,
What is very funny about this race is I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I asked the guys yesterday evening after I saw that I was half a second off pace. I asked them, "Hey guys, can you give me a setup?" And they said, "No, we won't give you a setup." And now I needed to create my own setup, and yeah, it worked out for me. So maybe it would be better for the rest of the field if they had given me their setup yesterday.
yeah, they had an opportunity to sabotage you and didn't take it, and now they're punished for it. All right. Hey, thank you
Right.
so much, Domska. That's congratulations on your win, of course, and your renewed hope for a championship.
Yeah. Thank you as always for streaming.
No worries, and I'll move swiftly on to the almost surprising second place finisher we talked about during practice. Dustin has fixed
Our time,
his.
isn't it?
He has fixed his technical gremlins finally, and immediately a very nice podium. How do you feel about it?
I wouldn't say I have fixed everything because I would love to drive in VR. I'm not driving in VR today. Because in VR, basically for viewers, I was having 45 frames and lags every 2 seconds. Um, and I was driving without VR today and had around 130 FPS all the time without any lags, except when anyone drove into the pit lane today. There were some lags for that today for everyone. Um, so I think personally I gained about that maybe half a second per lap. Um, so yeah, I'm back again because of not racing VR. I need to check why exactly this is happening. But yeah, it worked out for today, definitely. Yeah, super happy to finally be on the podium again. This is, I think I can say for 2 seasons, the best race in terms of luck. Not so much in terms of performance, because before the race, I was thinking, okay, I have the best strategy. After the race, I know I didn't have the best strategy. um, Earlier, I was driving a practice race with Marcus and Michael, and I was the only one on a one-stopper, and both of them were on a two-stopper. Marcus and I finished after 39 laps, zero point 0.7 of a second between each other. So we thought this would be maybe faster if people can be behind you. But the race showed me it was not really the case here. So there's definitely some room to improve the strategy for the last race for me, because now I know I can finally fight again, which is definitely a good thing. But I also would like to drive in VR again.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a trade-off. I did notice, and I'm very curious about this. It seemed like your setup was designed to be extremely annoying for those behind you, despite being on heavy fuel and hard tires, aiming for a one-stop. You were able to defend quite well. Talk me through that.
Yeah, about the setup. On Wednesday, I just picked the spa setup for Michael for his race, and I immediately fell in love with it. I was like, okay, this is my race setup. Just need to find the real racing line, and I was actually sharing it around with also Michael and Marcos. I think Kavaler too, everyone who has been there on Wednesday, basically. So I think a lot of drivers may have driven the same setup as I have been. So yeah. It's definitely good to see the leading driver out of those with this setup. Um, yeah, but maybe we should have given it to Dobska also. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently so. But yeah, it looked promising for a little while indeed. The one stop, but it seems like the many stop that Domska pulled off was a lot faster. At the end, I do wonder. Geralt was chasing you down close behind and didn't overtake by the end. Was that a sort of team orders, or was there a different thought behind that, or was he just not able to overtake?
Uh, each time he slightly moved out of my slipstream, he gave me a heart attack. So it was nothing planned or at all. We were just hoping for the best today. We knew each other would be on a different strategy. Um, but him coming out of the pit lane so close behind me, that's the second I knew, okay, my strategy wasn't the best decision. Let's see how I can, yeah, have him behind me for the rest of the race. If he overtakes, then this needs to be cleanly, but also the Sauber guys were behind us. Decra was very fast behind them. So I was terrified.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it wasn't team orders at all. Very good to hear. Um, so just a very good job then, being able to defend like that, and a very deserved second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And oh yeah, good luck playing spoiler for the next race, of course. We have a four-way championship. You're technically not part of it, but if you are able to win the race, of course, be our guest. Go ahead. Good luck.
I will try. It's the 5th anniversary. I will definitely try.
Of course. Right, thank you so much, Dustin.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to his teammate. We don't hear him speak all that often, but today, special occasion. I did have the wrong graphic on the whole time. It is Gerald Schmidt. Hello, you are currently on mute.
Hello, Fendik. Can you hear me?
I can hear you indeed. Hello.
Great. Because I'm doing this on my smartphone, so I hope, yeah,
We can hear you. We can hear you calling in. Very good.
great.
Yeah, third place today. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm very happy. Yes, the best result for the Benetton team this year, and my best result also. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, very, very well done, of course, getting a lot of points for the team. I think the team is currently still fifth in the standings, which is very, very close to a couple of other teams. Red Bull team seems to be a little bit out of reach. But yeah, very much fighting on a team championship. Is that kind of the goal, or are you also looking at the drivers' championship?
Oh no, I'm looking from race to race, and yeah, hoping for good points for me and for the team. And yeah, this time it worked really well.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, and looking from race to race, then you'll be very happy, of course, with the podium today. We did notice that there was an update before this race. Did that help you with your podium today, or do you think there's other reasons why the result was so good?
I think the update helped us, yes, and uh, get some setup tips from my teammate Dustin, and I think, yeah,
So good
because
setup.
of that, yes,
Continue.
I think it was a good setup, yes, and the update helped us too, yes, I think so, I think so.
All right, that's very good to hear. Um, Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And the strategy, of course, I think you were on a couple more stops than Dustin. Do you think that was the better strategy today to fight, despite the fact that you finished behind Dustin in the end?
Yeah, I think the two-stop was the better strategy. I was not sure, but yeah, it worked. It worked out really well for me, and yeah, I think yeah, the two-stop was faster.
All right. Yeah, great to hear. Congratulations on your podium then. One more race to go, of course. Japan. Are you expecting to repeat the podium?
Well, I will try, but I don't know. Huh.
It's going to be really tough on how incredibly strong this grid is. But yeah, good
Yes,
luck.
that's true. Yes, yes.
Yeah, good luck preparing for that race, and yeah,
Thank
wish you
you.
all the best in Japan.
Thanks for streaming, and thanks for the conversation.
No worries. All right, that was Gerald Schmidt, and we will quickly move on to another championship contender who is happy to speak with us. Didn't finish on the podium, but did finish on the next best spot. Fourth place was Dikra. Hello.
Hello, Findict.
I'm very interested to hear how you feel about where you are right now in the standings and how this race went for you. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I mean the race obviously went terribly for me. I think I couldn't have gotten a worse race if I tried. I had a very incident-free season throughout the entire season. I think the only crash that I really had was Hockenheim with Domska. And apart from that, it was pretty much smooth sailing, and I caught up in this race big time. Yeah, as usual, I qualified badly. I had the test session with Domska where we tried to develop some setup. I didn't use the one that he used, but I thought I had something quite good, even though it wasn't particularly fast on the straights, but it was quick through the corners, especially the last one. It was slightly unstable. However, in the race, I thought I could have good chances, and I got up to to third pretty quickly because Dustin and Marcus ran a one-stop, which was a decision I was very surprised by. But okay, they decided to do this, and that was why they were very slow in the beginning. I then, after finally overtaking Dustin, who indeed had a setup to make that pretty annoying, but I just risked it into turn one, and it worked out, thankfully. But after that, I tried to catch up to Domschka and Steven, and I noticed that there was nothing doing against Domschka. His pace today was very, very, very impressive, to be honest. I don't think I could have won even with a perfect race. So I had to fight against Steven, and Steven made a mistake. That's why I caught up to him, and we fought a little. And I don't know if you saw what happened on the stream.
Yep, we saw it.
Yeah. We tried to go through the King side by side, and the King at Estoril 1988 sadly is not the best place to try that. And in the end, I think I just misevaluated. I wasn't entirely sure he even was next to me. I was pretty sure I was ahead by a big chunk. And I just gave like 10 centimeters too little room, and he kept his foot in, and we just slightly scratched each other's tires, but it was enough to send me into a spin to ruin his tires and to very severely hamper both our races. But to be honest, even after that, I think I could have easily gotten second, but the rest of the race just didn't go any better, because after that, Matthias caught up to me and Steven. Matthias caught up to me. I caught up to Steven because he had flat spotted his tires in the crash, and then we were very close. And then Matthias gave me a little love tap and put me into the gravel trap, which was a bit unfortunate, but he made up for it by doing the exact same thing to Steven a couple laps later. And that was how I got actually past Steven. So I think if there's one driver who had an even worse race than me, it's gotta be Steven. And I really feel for him, because this is not how the title fight should have gone. And I think in any normal race we would have been second and third in this race. So it's very disheartening how the entire thing panned out. Anyway, after the series of love taps, I drove in front of Matthias for a little while with completely short tires, because after the spin the tires were very bad, especially at the rear, which for my setup was particularly problematic because the setup was already very oversteery, and with the added strain from the incident, the setup became very, very, very hard to handle, very unpredictable, and I was very slow at that point in the race. I then pitted lap 14, which was my planned pit stop, and after that I think I drove a decent pace. I think I was the second fastest driver on the track after that, but quite a bit slower than Domschka. I think I lost 3-4 tenths most laps. But it was enough to catch up to the one-stoppers, and then I had to fight against the two Sauber guys in the last stint, because Michael had overtaken me through the spin, and Marcus had overtaken me through both the spin and doing a one-stop, and I had to get in front somehow, and they worked as a team together to prevent me from doing that. So Michael slipstreamed Marcus. Michael had the slightly better tires, so he was a lot better tires actually. So he was faster in the corners. And I had a hard time overtaking him, because when I did so, he was able to overtake me back. And then I again got somewhat unlucky, because Michael had a tank slapper in turn 4, and just had to correct slightly, but I was directly behind him. I was almost kissing his rear, and if you're kissing another car's rear, then you can't react to anything that car is doing. If that car doesn't go through the line that you predicted, then there's no chance you can react. So I slightly tapped his rear, and usually when you tap someone's rear, they spin, but in this case only I spun and lost another 5 or 6 seconds. And after that, I managed to catch up again, because Marco's tires were very bad, and he also had some technical issues, I think, and actually managed to overtake both of them. And what I also didn't mention was that in my second pit stop, the game also told me I got a drive-through penalty, which at that time scared me a little, because then I thought, okay, I'm going to be disqualified in the second to last lap. but then the drive-through somehow disappeared a couple laps after that, and it just told me to pit every lap I went past the pits, but it didn't actually say anything else. So I just thought I could continue, but this of course led to me believing that I only have 38 laps and that I just have to hope that the league organizers do something about the 39th lap, because the drive-through was a joke. The drive-through I got for just exiting my own pit box. But yeah, in the end it didn't matter, but of course it kept piling on the pressure because I had one less lap than I thought. At least I thought at the time that would be the case. However, with that situation, I drove very aggressively, tried everything to get past Michael and Marcus, and actually managed to do so with two moves, which I think both were very aggressive, but also quite fun and quite well done. I'm quite proud of these. But in the end, it wasn't enough because I just got fourth, and now I can't win the championship of my own accord. I think Domschka is going to be very strong in the final race as well, and we have to see whether I can salvage anything. I think he's very likely to win it now, and I just gotta try my best. That's the current situation. I'm very annoyed I didn't get second, because if I had gotten second, then the championship battle would look quite beautiful for me. If I had, I think, 8 points more, than Domschka couldn't win the championship by just finishing first in front of me, and I would just have to finish second in the final race. That would be ideal, but it didn't come to pass. And I think after a season where Domschka had a lot of bad luck, it was my turn this race.
Yeah, I do feel like if you win next race with fastest lap, you do force a win in the championship by the narrowest of margin, equaling
Yes.
equaling Marcus's win total, but you finished second once and Marcus didn't. So then you would win the championship, which is that's kind of the margins we're working with. So yeah, so there is still every opportunity for you to win the race, to win the championship if you win the race. If Domschka finishes second, for example, you also win the championship. So for you, there's very much every opportunity. As you said for Randers, or Steven as you call him, it's a bit harder, but also not out of the question. If he wins and you finish second, I think he still makes it. So it's still all to fight for all four of you. But yeah, very much bad luck race for Randers. I was looking at that with yeah, it kind of hurt my eyes, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is. Going into the next race, then you do have every opportunity to win the championship. You said it will be tough, but definitely something to fight for. Are you just gonna spend 2 weeks driving Japan as many laps as you can?
No. I'm not in the business of just grinding, practicing, and so on. I don't think that a league that doesn't pay anything is worth grinding quite so hard, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna practice for sure. I'm also gonna practice more than I did for a couple other races, and I hope I'll be able to participate, because that is also not quite sure at this point. But I think I will. I think it's rather likely that I will be able.
Yeah,
But
you
I won't
better.
be able to practice on the days before the race, so that's gonna make it quite hard.
Right. Well, hopefully, you do get the time to practice, and you do very much get the time to race. I do want to mention, one of me said that you are his favorite driver in chat. So,
Thanks,
and he got
Timothy.
points today.
Thank you very much.
So, what do you say to your fans?
I didn't know I had any fans. I'm quite surprised by that, but yeah, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna try everything, and I'm gonna see how it pans out. But I think it's beautiful to see that the championship we are having right now is as exciting as it is. And I think this is the first time that it goes down to the wire like this, and this is 4 drivers able to win the championship. So I think to watch it's gonna be super exciting, and I hope also to drive. And
To
of
win.
course, it's gonna be even more exciting watching it back with your commentary.
Thank you so much. Yeah, to win it, of course, to win a full-way championship battle would be a cherry on top of whatever your career, sim racer career you end up having. Yeah, thank you so much, Dikra. Good luck preparing for the finale.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Findic.
No worries, and we'll move swiftly on. One more driver to interview, and I think that will be our last one. it is Marcus. Hello.
Hello, Finnick.
I'm gonna say only P5 today. How do you feel about that?
Could be better, could be worse. But first of all, congrats to Domschka, Dustin, and Gary, and also to my teammate who did a strong race. Yeah, as Domschka said, I practice a lot, but most of the time I was racing iRacing actually when I was in the Discord, not for this race. But I'm probably still the driver with most laps on this track for this race because I didn't race on this track before. And I was struggling with the new update. The cars are faster, but they are easier to drive for all but for the very last tenths or so. And that's what's made it possible that more drivers who struggled before, like Dustin, are able now to fight at the front again, which I'm happy for them. But it made it, of course, tougher for me for the championship. But like I said last time, I'm more interested into the team championship. So first of all, the question: how close are the contenders there?
Oh, good question. I will have a look for you. You currently have 170 points. You are standing on top with the Red Bull team. The next closest team, and they're all pretty well. The next closest team is 145 points. That is 25 points away. So very good gap. That is the team of Domschka. So that's who you're contending with. And
Yeah.
then it's the Ferrari team with 134, Williams with 132, and Benetton with 130. That is how the team championship looks. So yeah, you're very much ahead of that. But you also have a chance to win the Drivers' Championship. You care about that too, right?
Sure, of course. I hope that it's the track with whom I'm struggling or not with the cars. We will find out in Suzuka. Like already mentioned, I chose the wrong strategy because we did a practice race with Dustin and there the strategies were equal, but we were driving only with 3 people, so the track evolved way slower, and that means you have a higher tire wear and are slower in general. So I was going for a 2-stop all the time and changed at the last minute because I messed up the qualifying. I had a few laps which were good enough to be a few places more at the front, but I messed them up or had traffic. And then I thought, okay, the strategies are not that far apart, especially if you have to overtake the one-stoppers again with the 2-stop. And we saw that with Dustin and Domschka that it might take a few laps. So I thought from that far back, I can't deal with the other guys with a 2-stopper. But yeah, it turned out that it's way too slow. So that was a bad judgment call for me. And now the championship is wide open. So we have an interesting battle for the last race. Whoever wins, wins. And to that was Domschka saying that if Ika doesn't win it, but has a good race, then it's only because he missed a race. I'm saying that Max Verstappen missed all the races, so nobody's a deserving champion.
Yeah, in that sense, I guess. Yeah, we forgot to invite the best sim racer of all time, Lance Stroll. So really, what is it worth? Well, and in the end, of course, you get to join a list of some very strong sim racers that we've had. The likes of Alan Fry on there. Roonlink won the first season, and Dikra and Domska in very strong seasons for themselves also got there. So yeah, in only 2 weeks we'll be adding a new name to that list, and it could be you. Does that excite you, that prospect?
Of course, like I said, I hope that it's not the car because that it's not a car and it was only the track, because the Suzuka, I have good memories. I like this track, but so do many drivers. And yeah, the nerves will be high. So I hope that I don't mess up the strategy and have good race pace like I did at other races this season. But yeah, the cards are different this time with the new car update.
Yeah, it should be interesting, and hopefully a very good race between you, Dikra Domska, and Randus is still in that fight. Let's hope he shows up as well. Thank you so much for the interview, Marcus. I wish
Thank you.
all the best preparing for the next race.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. And we'll quickly move to your teammate. We also have Michael coming in at the end. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
So you were timing all the interviews. Are you trying to make the longest interview or the shortest one here?
I see how it will come. It doesn't matter.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, a couple of things. At the end there, I spotted you. I expected it, in fact. A little bit of team orders there, or was that a charity?
No, that was the logic thing to do for the championship.
Yeah, that makes total
So,
sense.
yes, he asked me if he could get back the position, and of course I give it back. I want him to become champion.
It would be a great story. You're doing great as a team. And yeah, as I said, you're in the lead for the team championship. It's looking like it's going to be yours without too much. Yeah, it would take quite a bit to dethrone your team. But for the Drivers' Championship, of course, you help them out as much as you can. It's going to be a close race, and I assume you'll be doing everything you can to try and help your teammates win there as well.
Yes, of course. We will give everything. Now we have 3 weeks to prepare for the race, so I'm sure if he is not doing too much iRacing and lose focus, we will do it, yes.
Yeah,
Lots of practicing.
It'll be your task to keep him on Automobilista too, even if he doesn't want to be.
Yes.
Okay. Enough about your teammate. Let's talk about you. How was your race?
Very exciting. I had a good first stint, but I went in 1 lap earlier than Gary, so he made an overcut, and then I was right behind him after the first stop. But I couldn't overtake. He had more downforce than me, and in the last corner I had too much dirty air, so I could not follow close enough to overtake him on the straight. In the middle sector I always came close, but in the last corner I lost like 3/10 or more because of the dirty air. And then in the last, and I had one incident when I was lapping someone. I went off and crashed into the barrier. I lost like a second. I had no damage, but I got a little bit, lost a little bit focus for the corner and went off. And that cost me another second. Then I had a lockup, cost me another second. So I was like 3 seconds behind, and we pitted at the same time for the second stop. Then a couple of people were between us. Yeah. But at the end, it was lots of fun fighting with Dikra. And yes, it was an exciting race.
I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah, P6, I'm sure you're happy with that as well as a result.
I wish we could be more higher up in the standings, but yes, of course, I'm very happy. But yes, I wished we could have made like 4th and 5th or the 3rd and 4th or something. But the Benettons were very strong and very unfortunate. The one stop didn't work out the way Marcus wanted. Like Dustin irritated us with his fast pace at the race we did a couple hours before the race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but yeah, every opportunity next time. That's gonna be Spa. Oh, sorry, not Spa. Much better track, Suzuka. How do you feel about Suzuka? Are you excited for next race?
Yes, definitely. I think the car fits Suzuka very well. This is a very exciting track. Lots of very fast corners, and it's also with a lot of gravel. But it is very easy to went off and lose a lot of time or hit the barrier. So it will be nerve-wracking racing there at the last race for the championship.
Yeah, it should be
We need
very
to
exciting.
keep our nerves together.
Yeah, exactly. Again, very exciting, and yeah, hopefully you have a good race there as well. Thank you so much, Michael, for your interview, and good luck preparing for the next race.
Thank you.
And we do have one more driver to speak to. Very happy to see him in the list. It is 7th place finisher Randers. How do you feel?
At least one's happy here, huh? Yeah, obviously very disappointed after this race. Yeah, what can I say? Lost a lot of points in the championship. P7 my worst result of the season, so yeah, could be better.
Yeah, what exactly happened during the race that you ended up P7 and quite far behind the top 6?
I've had a good start, definitely. Could get into P2 very, very early, and I kind of felt that Dustin was very heavy with his car, but I was quite heavy as well. I had 17 laps fuel in the car, so I wasn't. If I could stay like in P2, I would have been in a good position because I had some points of a gap to Domschka, and I knew if I could keep the other guys behind me, it would have been in a good position for the championship. And because Dikra stayed behind Dustin for a while, I felt like, okay, maybe for 5 to 6 seconds of a gap, I can be in a good position to keep this P2 throughout the race. And then I made a mistake in the corner, where I always make mistakes when racing at Estoril, like that left-hander in the second sector. Lost 4 to 5 seconds there, and then Dikra was immediately closely behind me. Yeah, overtook me, and when I tried to overtake him back, yeah, we touched on the back straight. I had a better exit out of the left-hander hairpin, and then you have that, yeah, right hand
Yeah,
little
little
right hand
bend, little
corner on the
kink,
straight,
yeah.
that little bend, little kink, yeah, and it's kind of a tricky situation because there was a gap. I was a bit alongside him. He didn't expect me to be there, and yeah, it's just a difficult spot. We already looked at it and agreed that it's a racing incident. So very unlucky, but we touched, destroyed our tires, lost 10 to 15 seconds, and after that, my tires were completely ruined. And I had lots of fuel in the car, so I couldn't just stop and refuel because then my whole strategy would have been a mess. So I needed to wait a bit, but my times were like 2 seconds slower than they would have been without the flat spots. So I lost a lot of time. Was touched then by Kafalor, pushed me off. Yeah, lost a few seconds there as well, but I don't think it changed my result. I think result would have been the same without that, but still didn't help. And after that, I was just cruising and yeah, waiting for the race to end and being a bit depressed there because without the incidents, this maybe could have been P2 and behind Domschka, and that would have been a very nice position for the championship.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is. The good news for you, though, is despite the fact that this was a bit of a depressing race for you, and the points aren't where you wanted to be, it is still not over. You currently have 115 points. Marcus has 123, which does mean that if you finish first and he finishes second, he does still win the championship. But if he doesn't finish second, then I think you can only be robbed from it if Domschka finishes second instead and gets the fastest lap. Then he wins by 1 point. And if he doesn't get fastest lap, you still win by comeback. So there's still a lot of opportunities, a lot of situations where you still win the championship. And I assume you're just gonna go for it, right?
I had night shift last night, and that's a lot of maths right now for me. I'm very tired. I have to do the calculation in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, there's still a chance. I mean, some things have to happen to make it possible, but to be positive about that, I have no pressure. I can just go into the last race and be like, yeah, let's try everything I can. And in German there is a saying, we have no chance, so let's use it. And that's what I'm thinking about when going into the final race.
Yeah, that's fair, of course. And yeah, despite the fact that you were in the lead at one point in the season, let's not forget in a bigger context that you've been here for a couple of seasons. You've never really been this close to winning a season outright. So very much already a very good job done this season. And yeah, one more opportunity to try and pull it in your direction regardless. And with how I wrote off Domska after last race, saying he was just too far behind, nearly 20 points, literally crazier things have happened today. You've got every chance.
Everything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does. So let's
Exactly.
go.
Quote the legendary Murray Walker. All right. Thank you so much, Randers. Very enlightening interview. Glad to see you don't have full-on depression yet. And I wish you good luck preparing for Suzuka in 2 weeks.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for streaming, and see ya.
No worries. All right. And that is the stream. We have no more people to interview. We'll quickly look at the calendar because we have one more race, Japanese Grand Prix. And I'm going to hide that again because honestly, what I really want to look at is, of course, the driver standings. Look at that. Imagine doing 7 races and the people are this close together. Between first place and fourth place, it is only 8 points difference. Anything can happen. We're going to see. I'm very excited. I will see you in 2 weeks. I hope to see you there. Yeah, goodbye. Thanks for watching.